Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Grace Holland. On Tuesday, several sources told WRAL that UNC had offered former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick its football coaching job. Here's a closer look from WRAL Sports at what we know and what this could mean. Just a heads up, this was a conversation that was recorded on Tuesday afternoon, and this story may have changed a bit by the time you're listening to it. I'm joined by WRAL's Brian Murphy here to talk about a major development in the search for the next football coach for the Tar Heels. What have you learned this afternoon since we started hearing that this morning?
Yeah, WRAL has confirmed through multiple sources that there is an offer on the table. That doesn't mean an agreement is imminent. This is just a negotiation at this point. And Belichick, as we heard yesterday when he made some appearances on the Pat McAfee show, has a long list of questions about how this would work. UNC does too. This is a guy who is 72 years old, has never coached in college football. What kind of program is he going to run? How is that going to integrate with academics? Obviously, academics very important at the University of North Carolina. And so a lot of questions, but clearly this is their number one candidate at the moment, and they're focused on working out a deal with Bill Belichick.
Okay, and can you catch non-football fans up on how we got to this point after the regular 2024 season?
Sure. Well, Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. He coached in another 3 Super Bowls, generally regarded as the best head coach in football of this era, of this generation. And North Carolina fired Mack Brown right before the end of the season. Mack Brown, all-time winningest coach in North Carolina history. Not an easy decision to part ways with him. But that program had kind of stagnated, and so they were really looking for someone to carry the football program into this new era of college football. A little surprising that they have landed on Bill Belichick, no college experience, 72 years old. But when you get a chance to hire maybe the greatest coach of the generation, you have to explore that opportunity.
Right, and who have been some of the other folks on the short list here? Because we talked about this actually on the WRAL Daily Download a couple weeks ago. I don't remember his name being brought up.
Right, his name, from all indications, things that I've been told, and I've been talking to lots and lots of sources, is that his name was on the initial list of 30, maybe as a pipe dream, maybe as a unicorn type of candidate. I mean, some of the other candidates that have come up are John Summerall. He was the head coach at Tulane, said that he is not going to leave Tulane. Army's Jeff Monken has come up, Georgia defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann. There's been other names. Steve Wilkes, who's a former NFL coach, has interviewed for the job, according to multiple reports out there. We've also heard Matt Campbell at Iowa State. So kind of traditional names that you would hear in a coaching search, especially at UNC's level. Belichick sort of came out of left field, but he's been looking for a way to get back into coaching. He was let go by the Patriots, didn't get an opportunity in the NFL for the 2024 season, and unclear if he'll get an opportunity for the 2025 season. If he doesn't take this job, will another NFL team take a chance on him?
We'll be right back. Right, and what do we know about how these conversations have been going from the university side, and also how Belichick has been reacting sort of to this process as it's been moving through?
Yeah, Belichick had really laid out what he thinks a college program could look like yesterday in some of his interviews. He also talked about some of the questions that he has as he starts to get ready for this. Like, who is he going to be answering to? How much money is he going to have to hire a staff? Will he hire a recruiting staff in addition to a coaching staff? He's 72 years old. I'm not sure he wants to be out on high school Friday nights recruiting high school kids right now. But we've seen with Deion Sanders that these kind of different arrangements can work today in college football, given NIL, given the money that's available to players. It's not always about that relationship. Sometimes it's about the money. And then you have to think about, what kind of program would he put in place? And would Carolina be okay with an NFL-light program at the college level? And would Belichick feel like he has the resources to run that kind of program? So there's a lot in the air, and I think that's one reason this process is moving, somewhat slowly or deliberatively.
Right, and so knowing how that process has been moving a little bit slowly, when might we expect to hear something, having heard this today?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't think anything is imminent. I'd be surprised if we hear something today, although I've been surprised throughout this entire process. I would think sometime this week. The transfer portal opened on Monday. Of course, since North Carolina had a coaching change, they can kids can get in the portal anytime they want. What you're worried about, I think, is that many of the players you would try to land out of the transfer portal will have already committed by the time you get a coach in place. So I think, Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director at UNC, said he wanted this decision. He expected a coach to be named by Monday or Tuesday. Well, it's already Monday and Tuesday,
right,
and it doesn't look like we're going to hit that. So maybe by the end of the week, but that's a lot of speculation at this point.
All right. We'll just continue to maybe be surprised by how it moves. But you mentioned, obviously, a moment ago, those comments that Belichick has made about his vision for how a program could work at the college level and be sort of this NFL light.
Right.
What could this mean if this is the path that the Tar Heels choose to go down? What could this mean for the future of college football, given some of the big changes like NIL in the last year or so?
Yeah, what I think is fascinating is this would really be an experiment by North Carolina to see if they can remodel what the college game looks like. Can you bring an NFL coach in? Can you remodel the way you train, the way you do nutrition, the way you do coaching techniques? Likely the way you do recruiting. Can you build an NFL model at the college level? It's fascinating. This is a time of great change in the college game when you think about, revenue sharing and NIL and the transfer portal. And so maybe the system is ripe for a big change, a significant change in the way they've done business for the last 60 years, but really the last 100 years.
Right. Well, it's very interesting, and we know you'll stay on top of it.
And North Carolina doesn't have much to lose, right? They've been a middle-tier program in the ACC. Some highs, some lows, but mostly in the middle. This would be a home run swing, and if you land it, it might change the entire, program, the trajectory of the program.
Yeah, potentially really big things going on at UNC. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and for making us another part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email with Triangle news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.